Ethereum and Bitcoin appear to have done the unimaginable and flipped a huge bearish pattern into a bullish move. Can they continue to the upside? In today's episode, we're going to look at some chart analysis for both Ethereum and some Bitcoin. As well as that, we're going to look at the latest news on Ethereum from Raoul, as well as the latest news from Microsoft. Right guys, so I've covered Raoul quite a lot on my channel, mainly because throughout his time as a crypto investor and talking about Ethereum as well as talking about Bitcoin, he's been proven time and time again that he knows what he is talking about. And he is now saying that Ethereum is the greatest trade in the world right now. So take a moment to think about what that might mean for Ethereum. He's saying that Ethereum is looking similar to Bitcoin and perhaps even better than what Bitcoin was looking back in March of 2020. And for those of you who weren't involved in cryptocurrency back in March 2020 last year, obviously it was around the time of the coronavirus and when it started to really spread, and we had that sort of black swan event that saw Bitcoin dip all the way to $3,800. And if we take a measurement from that position all the way to the swing high that we had back a couple of months ago, you can see that we saw around a 16,000% increase. Okay, so if we can think about the potential for Ethereum to be able to do that, then we're looking at something extremely exciting. We're going to look at what he is saying about Ethereum and why he believes this now. So basically, obviously, you know, we know all the things that are happening in terms of the laws that he talks about, in terms of the amount of people and the amount of exposure that Ethereum is getting. But he's saying that due to the fundamentals and due to the recent reduce in supply, currently has already been $144 million worth of Ethereum that has been burned. Then we're going to start to see something very exciting unfolding. Okay, so he's saying there's only a 13% free float of Ethereum available at the moment. Everything is being staked, locked, or hoarded. They've just made the supply more difficult. The supply is lower. The Ethereum that is in free float is falling every day. Obviously, at the moment, we're starting to see the prices increase. Perhaps more people starting to FOMO back in. Then we're going to start to see that supply drying up. Okay, so most people, if they're not already staking it and they have enough Ethereum to stake it, are going to start to look to stake it, which is going to fix it all even further. Okay, we've also got something else in the pipeline this year, so it's not over for Ethereum yet. We've got another upgrade coming. So Davis is looking at another approaching Ethereum update that says can have a significant impact on ETH supply. The trader highlights the upcoming merger between the Ethereum mainnet and the Beacon chain, which will mark the protocol shift from proof of work to proof of stake. Ethereum, as part of the merger from proof of work to proof of stake, is going to undergo a 90% reduction in daily emissions. Okay, so that's nothing but good news and may encourage more people in. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of news coverage about events like that. And, you know, we've got Elon Musk, etc., who is interested potentially in a greener option for cryptocurrency, basically after saying that Bitcoin was not particularly clean. Microsoft also now looking to use Ethereum blockchain to fight piracy. The major software developer's new plan to combat piracy relies on the transparency of the blockchain technology. This is not only going to be great for exposure for Ethereum in terms of people's investments, but also in terms of its use cases. The more use cases it gets, the more known about, the more solid it becomes as an investment, in my opinion. So ultimately, this is nothing but good news for Ethereum, and we'll likely see more news coverage around the world as things like this happen. And the more it gets used by these enormous companies, the more confidence larger investors are going to get in the use of Ethereum, etc. So extremely exciting, in my opinion. Without further ado, then let's jump over to the Ethereum charts and see what is currently going on over there. Okay guys, so yesterday we were looking at this rising wedge pattern, which we ultimately know does tend to often break to the downside as a bearish pattern. But something else is unfolding within this pattern, and that's a smaller falling wedge pattern, which I've only just sort of noticed happening over the last few hours or so. And as you can see, we did come down to the bottom of this wedge here, and we have had a double touch on not only this yellow line but the orange line here, pushing us back towards the upside. Very recently we've just been pushed up about here, and we are still trying to break out of here, but ultimately a falling wedge pattern does tend to be more of a bullish pattern, so it wouldn't surprise me if we do take a push back towards the upside of this. If we can see Ethereum pushing up to $3,400, that's going to mean that over on the Bitcoin chart as well, we're going to see Bitcoin pushing towards the sort of $50,000 level. If we see Bitcoin hitting 50,000, then in my opinion, we're going to likely see a lot of FOMO coming in, a lot of people fearing that they're going to be the last chance to buy at lower levels, and potentially driving the market back up. Bitcoin has actually done something quite similar as well, although Bitcoin did actually break out of its wedge here. It did come down to this level here around $45,000 before finding more support and being pushed back up towards the other direction, which many people thought we were about to see Bitcoin pushing back lower down towards the $42,000 level. But ultimately we're seeing huge buying pressure here, which is very bullish for Bitcoin in my opinion. Obviously go away and do your own research, guys. Trading is risky, so never risk more money than you can afford to lose. But what we're seeing at the moment is Bitcoin pushing and trying to get back into this pattern here. If we can see Bitcoin push above there and break above this line, this horizontal line coming down here, then we're likely to see Bitcoin pushing back towards this side. And as I just mentioned, if that brings us up, that will probably be in line with the sort of $50,000 level up here. And from $50,000, then there's always the potential that we could see a push further on as more FOMO, etc. comes into the market. So at the moment, guys, be very careful because obviously, as I've mentioned, this pattern that we're seeing here is a bearish pattern. And although we have broken up, we could just be confirming the breakout here. Although one thing to consider, guys, is when we do have breakouts or breakdowns from these patterns, they do tend to fall without coming back for a retest, okay? Because they sort of tend to be caused by lots of sell-off, which happens very fast. That's why we often fall much faster than we come back up. And we do tend to sort of drop out of these quite quickly. But notice how we have come back up and we did retest, we dropped again, we've come back up, and now we're retesting at a higher level. We have also formed somewhat of a W pattern in here, which would bring us back up in line and beyond this line here. So all is looking extremely exciting in not only Ethereum but Bitcoin as well. Guys, hope you enjoyed today's content. If you got any value out of today's video at all, please hit that like button. It helps me out more than you know. And if you're new to the channel and you hold Ethereum as well as other cryptocurrency, and you would like to know more about making money in Ethereum as well as other cryptos, then make sure you smash that subscribe button. You can always unsubscribe at another date. In the future, I'm going to start to look at bringing you videos about XRP as well as other cryptos. So make sure you leave down in the comments any cryptos that you would like me to cover in my next video. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you again tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.